All right, let's jump into this. We're doing a deep dive on SEO, going way beyond just keywords and rankings.
Sounds good.
So we're really digging into this book, SEO Success Blueprint, Strategies to Connect, Captivate, and Convert Your Target Audience.
Interesting.
Yeah, we're going to use the intro and first 9 chapters as a guide.
Okay.
But we're also going to be calling in some other things you gave me, like stuff on Google Search Console, Google Merchant Center.
Yeah.
Oh, and that guide about using PLR and MRR products to help businesses grow.
Uh-huh.
It's really cool to see how it all connects.
Yeah, it seems like this book is really all about actually connecting with your audience.
Right.
Like it's moving away from that old way of doing SEO, just focusing on keywords and backlinks.
Yeah.
And moving toward a more like relational approach.
Yeah.
You know, really trying to understand and serve your audience and what they need.
Yeah, I see that too. It's different from some of the older SEO guides.
Yeah.
Those were kind of all about gaming the system.
Yeah.
But this is about making stuff people actually want to read, watch, and share.
Right. And then the SEO stuff just kind of naturally happens.
Right.
When people think your content is valuable, they're more likely to interact with it,
Yeah.
link to it, share it.
Yeah.
All that helps you rank better in search.
Right. It's like build it and they will come.
Exactly.
But in this case, it's like make great content and the traffic will come.
Yeah, exactly. So the book lays out this connect, captivate, convert framework. It says SEO success really starts with understanding your audience,
Great.
then captivating them with really great content,
Right.
and then finally converting them into loyal customers.
So it's not just about getting people to your site. It's about guiding them
Right.
on a journey
Yes.
to get them to do something you want them to do.
Yeah, whether that's signing up for your email list, buying something, becoming a repeat customer.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So each step needs its own strategies and tactics, which we'll talk about as we go through the book.
Okay, great.
So the book starts by explaining how to really understand your audience.
Okay.
And it's not just about basic demographics.
Right.
It wants you to dig deeper into their motivations, their pain points, what they want to achieve.
Like you're creating a psychological profile.
Yes. Almost like that. You need to know what makes them tick, what keeps them up at night, what they're hoping to achieve.
Right. And the book gives you some real techniques to do this, like market research, demographic analysis,
Right.
and even something called psychographic analysis. I'm kind of curious about that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It looks beyond demographics, right?
Right,
And looks
yeah.
at people's values, beliefs, lifestyles. So you get a more, I guess you could say, more nuanced understanding of who you're targeting.
Okay. So once you've got this deep understanding of your audience, the book then shows you how to create content that they'll really connect with.
Right. That's where the captivate part comes in.
Right.
You got to make content that not only informs, but engages, entertains, inspires.
Right. And we're not just talking blog posts here.
No.
The book covers all sorts of formats, video scripts, social media updates, case studies.
Speaking of case studies, I was really interested in that.
Yeah.
The book says they're a great way to show that what you're claiming is true.
Okay.
They give you more credibility, turn skeptical readers into believers.
Yeah, for sure. Nothing says I can deliver, like showing how you've already helped others succeed.
Right. It's like social proof.
Right. Exactly.
The book goes beyond just saying make case studies. It actually gives you a framework for crafting compelling stories that highlight your expertise and show what you bring to the table.
Yeah. It even gets into using numbers and data to really measure your results.
Yes.
Which makes your success stories even stronger.
Exactly. And it emphasizes storytelling, bringing the client's journey to life and how they changed as a result of working with you.
It seems like the book really focuses on video content too, which makes sense with how popular video is these days.
Yeah, absolutely. Video is super engaging. You connect with your audience more personally.
Right.
Plus, Google and those search engines, they love video.
Right.
So it's a good SEO boost.
And the book gets into the details.
Yeah.
It's not just a quick overview.
Right.
It talks about writing good video scripts, attention-grabbing titles and descriptions, optimizing your videos for search.
It even has tips on how to take complicated topics and break them down into simple steps.
Right.
That's key to keeping people watching.
Right. Because people will tune out if it's too complex.
Exactly.
And I like how it says to start videos with a question that grabs people's attention.
Yes. Asking a question right at the beginning makes people feel like they're part of a conversation.
Right.
And if it's a question about a common problem they have, it shows you understand them and might have the solution.
Exactly.
It's a subtle way to build rapport.
Right. Now, we've been talking a lot about the book so far, but I want to bring in some of those other resources you shared. like that Google Search Console guide, which emphasizes optimizing for those top-performing keywords.
Yeah, that's super important. Even though this book wants us to think beyond just keywords, you still got to understand what people are actually searching for.
Right, that makes sense.
Right. It's crucial for making content that actually ranks well.
Right, exactly. And Google Search Console gives you a bunch of data to help you figure out those keywords and track your website.
Right. It's like you're peeking behind the curtain, seeing how people are finding you and what they're doing once they get there.
That's cool. And that Google Merchant Center guide is really helpful for anyone selling products online.
Absolutely. Google Merchant Center gets your products seen by tons of people through Google Shopping and other platforms too.
It's got all these tools for managing your product feeds, tracking how they're doing, and optimizing your listings to be seen more and get more sales.
It's pretty much a must-have for any e-commerce business.
Definitely. And then there's that guide about PLR and MRR products for business growth. Seems like a good way to use existing content and scale up faster.
Yeah, I agree. It's a great resource for people who don't have the time or resources to make all their own content from scratch.
I'm interested in how that connects with what the book says about engaging content.
Sure. So PLR, it stands for private label rights.
Okay.
You can buy the rights to use already written content.
Okay.
And you can change it up to make it your own.
So you're not just copying and pasting.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
The idea is to customize it, add your own thoughts, and make it match your style.
Okay, that makes sense. And what about MRR?
MRR is master resell rights. It means you can resell the content as is.
Okay.
And often you can even give your customers the reselling rights too.
Oh, wow. So it's like building a product library without actually creating everything yourself.
Exactly. Big time saver, especially if you're just starting out or want to expand your offerings quickly.
But wouldn't that make it less authentic, using content from someone else?
Not necessarily. The trick is to pick good quality content that fits your brand and your audience.
Right.
You know, stuff that they'll actually find valuable. And you can always tailor it to make it your own.
Okay, that makes sense. So it seems like there's a lot of potential there, especially when you combine it with the strategies from SEO Success Blueprint.
Absolutely. It's about finding the right mix of different approaches and building a strategy that works for your specific business.
Right, yeah. Okay, so going back to the book, chapter 2 really gets into writing those SEO articles that both rank well and teach people something.
What's really interesting is how it connects this content creation back to that connect phase we talked about earlier.
You mean understanding your audience?
Yeah, exactly. When you get what your audience is struggling with, you can write articles that solve those problems.
Right.
And that makes your content super valuable to them.
Right. It's almost like you're reading their minds, giving them exactly what they're searching for.
Exactly. The book gives a good example of writing an article about setting up Google Search Console. It breaks it down into easy steps.
That's smart. So it not only teaches the reader, but also gets them to actually do something.
Right.
Which builds trust.
Yeah, exactly. That strategy works for any kind of content, whether it's about SEO, health, money, whatever.
Right. And that reminds me of the Google Merchant Center guide, where it talks about having good product descriptions and accurate prices.
Yeah, that's a good point. Whether it's a blog post or a product listing, being clear and accurate is key.
Exactly. Yeah. It's all about giving your audience what they need to make a good decision.
Right. And that leads into the next chapter, all about meta descriptions and keywords.
Right. Chapter 3. These are the things that help search engines understand what your content is about.
Yeah, think of your meta description as like a tiny ad for your content.
Okay.
It's that snippet of text people see in search results.
Yeah.
You got to make it enticing so they click.
Right, like making a good first impression.
Exactly. The book gives a step-by-step guide for writing meta descriptions that really grab attention.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And it also talks about choosing the right keywords, right?
Yeah.
And organizing your content with categories and tags, and making sure your articles are structured in a way that both users and search engines like.
It's all about finding that balance, right?
Right.
Making your content fun to read, but also easy for search engines to understand.
Right. And that organization is important.
Yes.
It helps people find what they want quickly and helps search engines understand your content.
Exactly.
So better rankings and more people seeing your website.
That's the goal.
So now, Chapter 4 gets into case studies, which we talked about a little bit earlier.
Yeah. And as we said, they're a powerful way to show you know what you're doing.
Right.
They show your expertise, how you've helped others succeed.
The book argues that they're really good at convincing those skeptical readers.
Yeah, because they prove your methods actually work.
Right.
It's one thing to say you can do something, it's another to show you've actually done it.
That's true.
And the book gives tips on structuring your case studies to make them super effective.
Like what?
Highlighting the client's challenges.
Okay.
Showcasing your solution.
Right.
And actually measuring the positive outcomes they got.
Right.
And weaving in storytelling elements to make it more engaging.
Yeah, and even getting a testimonial from the client.
Yeah.
To add that personal touch.
It's all about painting a picture of success.
Right.
You know, showing potential customers what they could achieve.
So chapter 5 takes us to social media.
Yes.
Writing those catchy headlines that get people clicking.
That's where Captivate really shines.
Right.
Social media is so noisy, you got to grab people's attention.
Right, yeah.
And the headline's your one chance to do that.
It's like that split-second decision when someone's scrolling.
Yeah, exactly.
Your headline has to make them stop.
The book gives some great tips on how to write those irresistible headlines.
Oh, good.
Like using numbers, asking questions, creating a sense of urgency,
Yeah.
even adding a bit of humor.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And this reminds me of that Boosting Business Growth Guide with all those pre-written social media titles and subtitles.
Oh, yeah, that's a great resource.
Yeah.
Having those ready-made headlines saves a ton of time and effort.
Right, definitely. So now chapter 6 gets into the art of writing those hook-worthy questions for video intros.
Yeah, we touched on this earlier, but it's so important.
Right.
Asking a well-crafted question right at the start can really hook your viewers.
Right. A question creates that back and forth.
Yes.
Like you're talking directly to them.
Right.
Makes them want to keep watching to hear the answer.
The book suggests asking questions about common challenges, you know?
Right.
Things that really resonate with your audience.
Like, are you struggling to get your website noticed on Google or something like that?
Perfect example.
Yeah.
Anyone having SEO problems is going to relate to that.
Yeah, exactly. And then you can follow up with a promise to help them solve that problem.
Right. And that leads perfectly to chapter 7, which is about writing clear SEO video scripts.
Right. So this is where it all comes together.
Yeah.
You've got to create a script that not only teaches your audience, but also keeps them entertained.
Yeah. You need to find that sweet spot content people will love and content search engines can easily understand and rank.
It's a balancing act.
Right. But the book gives you a roadmap to navigate it.
Okay.
It emphasizes using relevant keywords throughout your script.
Yeah.
But don't overdo it.
Okay.
You know, keyword stuffing can actually hurt you.
Right. You want to use them naturally.
Exactly, like you're having a conversation.
Right.
It also stresses breaking complex topics down into simple steps.
Yeah.
That keeps people watching.
Right. The book gives an example of a video script that teaches people how to use Google Search Console to fix indexing issues.
Yeah, perfect example of a complex topic made easy to understand with clear steps and visuals.
And talking about Google Search Console, that reminds me of the section in our guide about making sure your website works well on mobile phones.
Oh, that's huge.
Right.
Mobile optimization is more important than ever.
Right.
Your website needs to be responsive, easy to use on any device.
And the book talks about that too, right?
Yes.
User experience being a big ranking factor.
Absolutely. Google and other search engines, they want to make sure people have a good experience.
Right.
So if your site's slow, confusing, or not mobile friendly, it's going to hurt your rankings.
Right. So it's not just about keywords and content anymore.
Exactly. It's about the whole experience people have on your website.
Okay, so chapter 8 is about writing those SEO video titles and descriptions that bring in the traffic.
Yeah, these are so important.
Right.
Because they're often the first thing people see when they're looking for videos.
It's like your first impression.
Right.
You got to make it count.
Exactly. So the book gives a bunch of tips for writing titles and descriptions that are both informative and attention-grabbing.
Like what?
Putting keywords at the start of the title.
Okay.
Making it clear and short.
Right.
Using numbers, strong words.
Right.
Highlighting what people will gain by watching.
Okay.
And don't forget about the description.
Yeah.
It gives you more space to tell people what the video's about.
Right. The book also says to include a call to action, like asking people to subscribe or visit your website.
Yes, those are crucial.
Right.
For turning viewers into subscribers and customers.
So finally, chapter 9 is about integrating your SEO strategy.
Yes.
Bringing it all together.
Right, creating a seamless strategy using articles, case studies, videos, social media.
Right.
Everything we've talked about.
To get traffic, engage your audience, and turn them into customers.
It's about connecting all the dots, and creating a smooth journey for your audience.
That leads them to take the action you want.
Exactly. You want a consistent experience across all platforms.
Right.
Using the same keywords, the same message, so everything feels connected and reinforces your brand.
Makes sense. And the book talks about creating conversion pathways.
Yes.
Where one piece of content naturally leads to the next.
Right. Guiding your audience on a journey that eventually leads to them taking action.
Yeah.
So, for example, someone might find your blog post through Google.
Okay.
Then they click a link to watch a related video.
Okay.
Then they download a free guide. And finally, they sign up for your email list or buy something.
Right. So it's all about guiding them through those steps in a way that feels natural.
Exactly. And when you do that, you have a better chance of turning casual visitors into loyal customers.
Right, because they're already engaged.
Exactly.
And that's the ultimate goal.
Absolutely. It's not just about getting people to your website. It's about building a thriving business.
Right.
With an audience that loves your content and trusts you.
Yeah. And that's what this book is all about.
Right.
Giving you a blueprint to create that kind of content and integrate it across your platforms for a powerful SEO strategy.
And that sets us up perfectly for the book's conclusion, which is about building a lasting SEO strategy.
Right. Which is really important because SEO is always changing.
Absolutely.
It's an ongoing thing. You got to stay informed, adapt, and keep refining your approach.
Exactly. And that's what we'll be exploring in the next part of our deep dive. So moving into the conclusion of the book, it's interesting how the author emphasizes that SEO isn't something you just set up and forget about.
Yeah. It does seem like it's always changing.
Right.
Can be a bit overwhelming if you're just starting out.
It can be. But the book gives some good advice. First, stay informed about the latest SEO news and updates.
So it's like any other field. You have to keep learning to stay ahead.
Exactly. The book suggests subscribing to blogs and newsletters, listening to podcasts, attending conferences.
Right.
All that keeps you up to date on those algorithm changes and best practices.
Makes sense. Being proactive, making SEO a regular part of your business.
Exactly. The book also encourages some experimentation. SEO is part science, part art. So trying different things and seeing what works best for your audience is key.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Sometimes people get too caught up in the rules.
Right.
Forget to be creative and try new things.
Absolutely. And that's where data comes in. The book emphasizes measuring your success.
Okay.
So you can see what's working, what's not.
So it's not just about creating content and hoping for the best. You're analyzing the data, using it to make decisions and adjust as you go.
Exactly. The book recommends focusing on key metrics like organic traffic, bounce rates, click-through rates, and keyword rankings.
And those can be tracked using tools like Google Analytics and Google Search Console, right?
Absolutely. Those tools are essential for SEO. They give you so much data.
Yeah.
You can really understand how people are finding your website, what they're doing once they're there, and what content they like.
It's like a data goldmine.
It is.
But I imagine it could be overwhelming if you don't know what to do with all that information.
That's true, but the book does a good job of explaining how to make sense of the data. Right.
And use it to make informed decisions about your SEO strategy.
The book also talks about updating old content, something I've been guilty of neglecting, I admit.
Yeah, it's easy to focus on creating new stuff.
Right.
But updating old content can be just as variable.
Why is that?
Well, your audience's needs change over time. And search engine algorithms are constantly evolving.
So even if something did well in the past, it might need an update to stay relevant and keep ranking.
Exactly. And sometimes a simple update can make a big difference to your rankings and traffic.
It's like giving your content a little makeover to keep it fresh.
Exactly. And speaking of keeping things appealing, the book also highlights user experience, which, as you mentioned, is a big ranking factor for Google.
Right. It's not just keywords and content anymore. It's the whole experience people have on your site.
And that includes things like site speed, navigation, mobile responsiveness, overall design and usability. So you're saying it's about making it easy and enjoyable for people to find what they need and interact with your content.
Precisely. And Google's made it clear that user experience is a priority.
Yeah.
Neglecting this part of your SEO can hurt you.
So if someone's website isn't mobile friendly or takes forever to load, it'll hurt their rankings.
Exactly, even if their content is great.
Right. And that's where tools like Google Search Console come in handy.
Yeah.
Because they show you any usability issues that are affecting your website.
Right. The book ends by saying that SEO is a journey, not a destination.
I like that analogy. It reminds us there's always something new to learn.
Right. It's not about reaching some finish line where you've mastered SEO.
Yeah, you're always learning and adapting as things change online.
Exactly. And this book gives you the knowledge and tools to start that journey.
Before we move on to some of those tools, I want to talk about PLR and MRR products for scaling a business. We touched on this earlier, but can you explain more about what they are and why they might be helpful?
Sure. PLR stands for private label rights.
Okay.
It basically gives you the right to use or resell content that someone else has already created.
So instead of spending hours writing a blog post or making a course, you could just buy the rights to use someone else's work.
Exactly. And you can modify it to make it your own. Add your own thoughts, your branding, your style.
That sounds like a huge time saver for busy people.
It definitely can be. And MRR, which is master resell rights, is similar, but it lets you sell the content as is and often includes the right to let your customers resell it too.
So you could build a whole library of products without making the content yourself.
Precisely. This is great for expanding your offerings quickly and creating new ways to make money.
But doesn't using PLR or MRR content feel less authentic?
Not if you do it right. The key is choosing good content that matches your brand and your audience.
Okay.
And then customizing it to make it your own.
So you're not just copying and pasting, you're adding your own expertise and making it valuable to your audience.
Exactly. And that's what makes it worthwhile.
That makes sense. How does this tie into the SEO strategy we've been talking about?
Well, you can use PLR and MRR content in several ways to help your SEO efforts.
Like how?
You could use PLR articles for your blog or MRR courses to make a membership program.
Smart. And you could use that content to attract traffic, build your email list, get leads.
Exactly. By tailoring the content to match your keywords and what your audience is interested in, you can make sure it's valuable and SEO-friendly.
So you're getting a head start on content creation, but still aligning it with your overall SEO plan.
Exactly. Speaking of SEO, we have some resources on specific tools that can be really helpful. Let's talk about those.
Okay, great. Let's start with Google Search Console. We talked about it a bit earlier, but can you give us a more detailed overview? What is it and how does it help with SEO?
Google Search Console is a free tool from Google that lets website owners track and fix problems with how their website shows up in Google search results.
So it's like having a direct connection to Google, seeing how your website's doing in search.
Exactly. It gives you a ton of information to help you find and fix anything that might be preventing your site from ranking well.
Our guide on Google Search Console talks about some of the key features, like performance reports, index coverage reports,
Yes.
and mobile usability reports.
Those are all really important for understanding how your website is seen by both people and search engines.
The performance report, for example, shows you what searches are bringing people to your site.
Right.
How many times your site appears in search results. How many people are clicking through.
Yeah.
And your average position in search results.
That's all valuable data. You can see what's working well and where you might need to improve your content or target different keywords.
Okay. The index coverage report is helpful too. It shows you which pages on your site Google has indexed and which ones haven't.
Yeah, that's crucial. If a page isn't indexed, it won't show up in search results at all.
Right.
So this report helps you find and fix any problems that are affecting your visibility.
And like we said before, the mobile usability report is essential for making sure your site works well on phones.
Yes, definitely. Google really cares about that.
Yeah.
This report will show you any problems that might be hurting your rankings and tell you how to fix them.
So Google Search Console is a must-have for anyone serious about SEO.
Absolutely. It's a powerful tool. It gives you insights into your website and helps you make smarter decisions to improve your rankings.
Okay, now let's talk about Google Merchant Center. This is another tool from Google, but specifically for online businesses.
Right. Google Merchant Center lets you upload information about your products so shoppers can see them across Google's services.
Like Google Shopping, Google Search, Google Images.
Exactly. So if you're running an e-commerce store, this is how you get your products in front of potential customers.
Essential stuff then.
Absolutely. It's a game changer for online retailers. It lets you reach a huge audience and show off your products visually and engagingly.
Our guide on Google Merchant Center explains some key features like managing product feeds, integrating with Google Ads, and tracking your performance.
Yeah, managing your product feed is super important to make sure all the information about your products is up to date.
So you create a data feed with all the details, title, description, price, image, availability.
Exactly. And you upload that to Google Merchant Center, which then sends it out across Google's shopping network.
Okay. Integrating with Google Ads sounds powerful too. You can create those targeted shopping campaigns that put your products right in front of people who are looking for them.
It's like putting your products on a silver platter for the people most likely to buy them.
Nice. And the performance tracking lets you see how you're doing and make changes if you need to.
Right. You can see how many people are looking at and clicking on your products, how many sales you're making, and what your return on investment is.
Sounds like it covers everything for managing your e-commerce on Google.
It does. It's a must-have if you want to get more visibility, boost sales, and build a successful online business.
Okay, let's switch gears and talk about social media. We've mentioned it a few times, but I want to understand how it fits into an SEO strategy.
Social media can definitely play a part in SEO, but it's not always a direct link.
What do you mean?
Well, things like likes, shares, and comments on social media don't directly affect your Google rankings.
So lots of followers on Twitter or Facebook won't automatically make you rank higher.
Right, but social media can still help your SEO in other ways.
Like how?
For one, it's a great way to get people to know your brand and visit your website.
So if people are interacting with your content on social media, they're more likely to click through to your website and learn more about you.
Exactly. And that extra traffic can eventually lead to better search rankings.
Social media is also good for connecting with your audience and building relationships.
Right. And that can lead to shares, mentions, and backlinks, all of which help your SEO.
And social proof is important too, right?
Yes.
If people are talking about you and sharing your stuff on social media, Google sees that as a sign that your content is valuable.
That's a great point. That's why you need to create engaging social media content that people want to share.
The guide on boosting business growth with SEO-enhanced PLR and MISRR products also talks about social media strategies for promoting digital products.
Right, and it gives some good tips on how to repurpose content from PLR and MRR products to create social media posts.
So you could take a chapter from an ebook, for example, and turn it into a series of tweets or Instagram posts.
Exactly. Or you could make a short video summarizing the main points of a course.
Smart. You're getting more use out of your content, reaching more people.
And the guide also talks about using social media to build relationships and interact with your audience.
So it's not just about broadcasting messages, it's about having conversations and building a community around your brand.
Exactly. That kind of interaction builds trust and loyalty, which can ultimately lead to more sales.
The guide also recommends using social media to get leads and send people back to your website.
Right. You can use things like free ebooks or checklists to encourage people to sign up for your email list. And you can use social media ads to reach more people and promote your products or services.
It's a multifaceted approach to using social media for your business.
It is. And it takes strategy, creativity, and really understanding your target audience.
Okay, let's move on to another important part of scaling a business: automation. The guide on PLR and MRR products talks about this too.
It does. It highlights strategies for automating your marketing to make your business grow even when you're not working.
That sounds pretty appealing. Can you give us some examples?
Sure. One of the most effective strategies is building evergreen sales funnels.
What exactly is an evergreen sales funnel?
It's a series of automated emails that guide people towards making a purchase.
So you set it up once and it just runs in the background, bringing in sales 24/7.
Exactly. It's like having a sales team working for you all the time, even while you sleep.
Sounds like a dream for any busy entrepreneur.
It can be. The guide has step-by-step instructions on how to create these funnels using email marketing platforms like MailChimp or ConvertKit.
What other automation strategies does the guide talk about?
It also mentions setting up a membership program where people pay regularly to access exclusive content and resources.
That's a good way to get recurring revenue and build a community around your brand.
Absolutely. And you can use PLR content to create the materials for your membership program, saving you a ton of time.
The guide also suggests affiliate marketing to generate passive income.
Affiliate marketing is great for leveraging other people's audiences.
How does that work?
You basically team up with other businesses or influencers who promote your products or services for a commission on sales.
So you're reaching their existing audience without doing all the marketing yourself.
Exactly. It's a win-win for everyone.
You get more sales, your partners earn commissions, and customers discover new things they might not have found otherwise.
Precisely. The guide even gives tips on how to find and work with affiliate partners and provide them with the tools they need to be successful.
Now let's talk about chatbots. They seem to be getting more and more popular.
Chatbots are basically programs that can talk to customers on your website or social media.
Like virtual assistants that are always there to answer questions and help out.
Exactly. They can handle tons of questions at once, which frees up your time to focus on other things.
The guide talks about using chatbots for getting leads, which sounds interesting. How does that work?
You can set up your chatbot to offer something free, like a discount code, in exchange for the visitor's email address.
So it's like having a virtual receptionist gathering leads for you nonstop.
Exactly. And chatbots can even qualify leads by asking questions to figure out how interested they are and if they're ready to buy.
That's smart. You can focus on the leads that are most likely to become customers.
Exactly. The guide also talks about using chatbots to get feedback and testimonials.
How does that work?
You can program your chatbot to ask customers about their experience.
Okay.
And you can even use it to collect testimonials to use in your marketing.
That's a clever way to get feedback and social proof without having to personally reach out to every customer.
Exactly. It's all automated.
It sounds like chatbots are becoming essential for businesses that want to automate their marketing and customer service.
They definitely are. And they're only going to get better and more powerful.
Before we finish this part of our deep dive, I want to touch on something the guide emphasizes: having a bigger vision for your business.
That's so important. It's not about using a bunch of random tactics.
Yeah.
It's about knowing where you want your business to go.
Okay.
And then using the right tools and strategies to get there.
It's like having a map to guide your decisions.
Exactly. And the guide gives some good advice on how to develop that vision.
Like what?
Start by figuring out your core values and your ideal customer. What are you passionate about? Who do you want to help?
Once you know those things, you can build your business around them.
Exactly. The guide also talks about setting big goals and breaking them down into smaller, manageable steps.
That helps you stay motivated and make progress.
And it emphasizes building a strong team and surrounding yourself with supportive people.
You can't do everything on your own. Having a team that believes in your vision makes a big difference. Now, the guide ends with some inspiring stories of entrepreneurs who've been successful with their digital product businesses. What can we learn from them?
I think one of the biggest lessons is that success doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
It takes time, hard work, and being willing to learn and adapt.
But it is possible for anyone willing to put in the effort and stay focused on their goals.
Absolutely. These entrepreneurs came from all walks of life and had different levels of experience, but they were all passionate about their businesses and committed to their customers.
And they didn't let fear or uncertainty stop them.
Exactly. They faced the challenges, learned from their mistakes, and kept going.
Inspiring stuff. It shows that with the right attitude and the right strategies, anyone can succeed online.
I agree. And the guide gives you all the information and resources you need to get started.
We've covered a lot in this part of our deep dive, from staying informed about SEO updates, to the power of automation, to the inspiring stories of successful entrepreneurs.
It's been a fascinating look at the ever-changing world of online business.
And in the last part, we'll finish our discussion of SEO Success Blueprint and look at some additional strategies for building a strong online presence. So as we wrap up our look at SEO Success Blueprint, any final thoughts on the book's message?
It really drives home that SEO is about more than just the technical stuff.
Yeah.
It's about connecting with your audience for real, creating content they actually care about.
Moving away from just thinking about transactions.
Exactly.
Building relationships instead.
Yeah, understanding your audience, what they need, what their problems are, what they're hoping for, and making content that speaks to all of that.
Right, and then the SEO benefits come naturally from that.
Exactly. When people find your content valuable, they interact with it more. They share it, they link to it, they keep coming back.
Right.
All those things lead to better search rankings and a stronger online presence.
It's a win-win. You get more visibility, your audience gets helpful content.
Exactly. They can use it to solve problems and reach their goals.
We've talked about a lot of specific strategies and tactics, but are there any big principles that stand out as extra important?
I'd say consistency is key. SEO isn't a one-time thing.
Right.
It's a constant process that needs your attention and effort over time.
So you can't just make a few blog posts and expect the traffic to pour in.
No way. You got to keep creating and publishing high-quality content.
Yeah.
Promote it everywhere.
Yeah.
And track your results to see what's working.
Right. Make SEO a regular part of how you do business.
Exactly. And patience is important too. SEO takes time.
Yeah.
Don't get discouraged if you don't see results right away.
It's easy to give up too soon if you don't see immediate results.
If you keep at it, keep learning, And stay patient. You'll get there. It just takes time.
We've also talked about all sorts of tools and resources for SEO. Any favorites you'd recommend to someone starting out?
Well, Google Search Console and Google Merchant Center are essential, like we talked about.
And they're free.
Exactly. You should also check out tools like SEMrush, Ahrefs, and Moz. They have lots of features for keyword research, competitor analysis, site audits, all that good stuff.
They could be really helpful for figuring out what your competitors are doing and finding ways to improve your own SEO.
Absolutely. Plus, there's a ton of great free information online.
Right.
Blogs, podcasts, YouTube channels, all about SEO.
It's amazing how much is out there for free.
It really is. It shows how powerful the internet is and how generous the SEO community is.
Before we wrap up completely, I want to go back to using PLR and MRR products to grow a business.
Yeah.
How does that approach fit in with an overall SEO strategy?
I think PLR and MRR products can be really helpful for entrepreneurs who want to scale their content creation and reach more people faster.
But you have to use them strategically. Make sure the content fits your brand and what your audience is looking for.
Exactly. Don't just copy and paste.
Right.
Add your own twist. Make it valuable for your audience.
Customize it. Add your own insights.
Exactly. When you do that, PLR and MRR products can really boost your SEO.
So as we finish up, any final advice for our listeners starting their own SEO journey?
Stay curious, keep going, and don't be afraid to try new things. SEO is always changing.
Yeah.
It's important to stay current and experiment.
It's about embracing the process, learning, and growing.
SEO isn't just about rankings and algorithms. It's about building a solid online presence that brings in the right people, builds trust, and helps your business grow.
This has been a really insightful deep dive. We covered a lot, and I feel like I understand SEO Success Blueprint much better now and all the things that go into being successful online.
It was great exploring these ideas with you. I'm excited to see what our listeners do with these insights and how they achieve their own SEO success.
Keep learning, keep growing, and keep striving for your goals.
The possibilities are endless online.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into SEO and digital marketing. We'll see you next time.